And Thomas is sitting at his computer again and has back pain. You're sitting and not compensating, right? So come on, let's do this now. Fold the thing up and let's do some exercises.
Okay.
And I will now show you a few exercises that you can do directly for back pain, or maybe you don't have back pain yet, but sit a lot and would get some if you continue doing it for much longer. Not necessarily safe, but possibly the chances would be good, and that's why we're doing something now, right? We're starting. What do we start with? We start at the wall. Please go to the wall. Take both hands against the wall. Get a little closer, please. Such a half step. Yes, so. And now, first of all, pull in your belly button and position your pelvis so that the pubic bone comes up and you try to make a straight back here, okay? Get rid of the arch here. Make it straight. Bring your lower buttocks forward, your pubic bone. Yes, now it's straight. Do you notice? And the knees straight? Yes, knees stay straight.
Okay.
Because many people then give up and instead of moving their hips, they move their thighs. You know? That's why let the knees stay straight. That's okay. And now you pull back your belly button, and with your belly button pulled back, you push the groins forward. Yes, yes. But here you don't want to go forward. Here you keep the distance and only move forward with your hips. And keep going forward, and then it may start to pull at some point.
Pull now.
Okay? And then you slowly keep going further when you notice you are too far away from the wall, but that's okay with you. So, and now always further back, belly button, groin forward. And Thomas, you can also bring your head back, preferably in a way that the chin stays at the larynx. Yes. And then nicely keep going backwards. With each exhalation, go further, but always in a way that you can still tolerate the stretching well, okay? More and more, increasingly towards the back, and breathe out nicely while doing so. And always stay in the area where you don't have to leave. And as you go further back, you can bend your legs a little at the knee, but only a little. And keep going further back. That you can speak at all. This is exercise like many other things. Always further back. Beautiful, always further, further, further. The further the better, but the limit is that it must not be so intense from the stretching that you can no longer tolerate it well. And then you slowly come up again.
Wow, that is exhausting.
Exhausting, but now feel it.
Yes, that is awesome. I also noticed how I was able to get really into the exercise.
How it has given in, right? That is probably the same at your home.
Every time you go into exercise and stretch, you notice afterwards that it is better.
Of course, it is not a long-term effect. That doesn't hold at first, but you have to repeat it until it goes deeper into the body. Now we continue. Stay standing like that. That's quite good. Two different perspectives. Feet shoulder width apart. Now we go to the opposite side. Let's put our hands on the thighs and slowly move further down. Yes, and you notice that when you go further down, the hands slide further down the shins. That is so convenient, the sign. And now the back is probably pulling. And now we are inside the antagonistic muscles, so to speak. So these are the ones who eventually go crazy sitting down because they are already too strongly demanded, as everything is too short in the front and there's pulling against in the back. This is our experience with the development of back pain. Let yourself sink further down and try to target the lower back. Try to give in there. Let yourself go further down and then try to give in. The summit is to reach the ground as loosely as possible with the fingertips. But first every millimeter, the second one.
That's intense now that you've said it, giving in exactly there, and I've practically located the spot in my brain. Now I notice how it becomes looser there.
Yes, yes, yes. So you always have to see. The mind leads. The mind is the boss, and the body is actually the institution, I would say, that has to follow this command of the mind. Only when the fasciae are too short, muscles can still function. They can then lose their tension, controlled by the brain. But the fascia are, so to speak, this solid tissue that has trained itself for contractions and takes time to move towards yielding. It gets better over time, but it takes time. So that means keep going down, do it again calmly, concentrate again on this point and say, give in there. There you give in now and try to go further down. You can also pull a little and try to go further down. And the legs always completely straight? The legs are completely straight. It's not necessarily for the back now. You could easily bend it, yes, but if you straighten it, you have the entire back structure even more in here, and that also further relieves your back, yes. And then you slowly come up again. Best to go into hyperextension again and resolve that a little bit. And again. So, and now we go into the side, yes. Go over there, look there, and put your left hand against the wall. Take a step towards the wall with your right foot in front of your left. So that you move your left foot, then you are still going further. Look straight back at me and move your foot a little further to the right here. Yes. And now rotate your pelvis so that you are standing as perpendicular to the wall as possible, and let your left hip practically approach the wall and push yourself away from the wall a little with your arm. And then you feel the tension above or also at the pelvis. Yes, look, if you now go over more like that and let yourself fall in there, it should pull here.
But I also notice it right now in the lower back where it hurts.
Yes, because those are muscles that pull diagonally here, and everything that hurts during the exercise, also for you at home, yes, everything that hurts and stretches during the exercise, thus creating a stretching pain, is good. Because that means when we pull on it, it gets stretched longer, and in our experience, the pain also decreases at the same time. Yes, I'll go in there with you again to also benefit from it myself.
I still look like two ballerinas.
Yes, a little bit, right? And you notice, right, it keeps going on. And concentrate calmly on how you just said it, that you switch to relaxation on the left side of the pelvis and on the left side of the body. You tell yourself, give in a little, there should be some give and take.
I also feel it a little bit here in the armpit that it pulls.
Yes, it extends all the way up. So ultimately your hip benefits from it, your entire torso benefits from it, even your shoulder benefits from it. And then we slowly go out. Now let's turn around. I'll go around like this. And now we do the same on the other side. Yes? Take a step forward with your left foot passed towards the wall. The right foot crosses over to the left so that it is nicely crossed. And now let yourself fall sideways with your pelvis again. Yes, the knee of the right leg, so the right leg must be straight, should be straight or almost straight. Yes. And now consciously push your right hip towards the wall. The right hip towards the wall, and then you immediately notice that on the right hip and also beyond towards the armpit, it continues to stretch further. Look, I also have my arm a bit flatter to be able to push myself away better.
Oh, I see.
You can also go up that high. You have to get closer. If you go a little deeper, you will notice that you can now push your entire shoulder girdle to the left a bit. Press actively to the left and then you will notice, then the stretching on the right side of the body increases. Do you notice that?
Yes, I think this is even better.
And you can also turn your head to the left. That supports it a little bit. And deep breathing, as always, deep breathing helps you get into the stretch better. You will probably notice again the effect that you are getting a little closer to the wall.
That can always be improved, yes.
Also, stretching is ultimately a time investment that almost inevitably leads to tissue adaptation. Also, it is known from studies that the body is trainable until the end of life and that it responds to training stimuli, faster or slower depending on the metabolic state and so on. And then slowly come out here again. Move a little, feel inside like when you move all around and just absorb a feeling.
Wow, that's intense. So I noticed that I really did something somehow in a short time. So it feels looser and more relaxed.
And that's always something you may already know it, the viewer, the female viewer, that you don't have to do so much and there is already a lot to remember. But we're taking it up a notch. Now pay attention, now we do the following. When I stand like this, I look over there. Exactly. Please stand exactly like this with your left foot against the wall, maybe a little wider than shoulder width, so that you have a secure stance. And put your right hand at shoulder height. Go past here and turn left. Also turn your head and take the left hand against the wall, here at about belly height. So, and now you turn first, keeping your legs pretty straight and making sure that the right foot doesn't turn with it. Now we are introducing a rotation into the whole body. You might already notice it. Also try to stay as straight as possible without any kind of bending in the torso. And you pull yourself with your right hand further and further to the left. And the left hand presses against the wall, causing your left shoulder to be pushed back and thereby increasing your rotation even more.
Yes, intense.
Pull your stomach in a little bit because you're currently arching your back a bit. Yes, it's even better that way. Is it more intense, right? So what you need to know now is that we are now squeezing the intervertebral discs over the entire surface so that all the waste, all the metabolic waste is pushed out. That's how we imagine it, at least. Out with the dirt, let's imagine. Take a deep breath and continue to rotate a little further. And here we stay for a little while and gradually increase as you notice that a little more is possible.
It actually feels really good. Although it is exhausting, so it wouldn't be suitable for wellness, but actually it is really good.
That is the wellness afterwards, so to speak, yes? When one has done it.
Yes.
But the body often reacts in such a way that it perceives such efforts intuitively as positive because it realizes that something is being done to it that makes it more relaxed. What simply takes him out of the tensions, that then to the head. So many patients say, it does hurt, but it also feels good at the same time. Yes, like with a massage sometimes, it can also be painful when you are so tense, but afterwards you actually feel a little better, and here you can somehow trigger this effect yourself. Exactly. And now slowly go out again. Always move slowly so that the body can get used to it.
Okay.
Now let's change places. Now you go over there, feel inside first.
Now you have the feeling that you are a little to the left, but it is high time to balance ourselves.
That is mega. So now we go like this, with the right shoulder against the wall and the right foot with the outside and the hand over there, and you do it with me at home, okay? Join in nicely, right hand lower, left hand higher, to feel and benefit from it right away. Breathe beautifully.
I crawl forward like that with my fingers, right?
Exactly. The left hand crawls to the right, and the right hand, it doesn't have to go further to the right, it rather pushes away practically, so that the left hand pulls the left shoulder into rotation. So the trunk pulls into rotation and the right hand practically pushes the right shoulder back, which then enhances the rotation. And also look again, try not to go into a hollow back, suck in your stomach, then it will be even more.
I feel it up to the shoulder blades.
Yes, could be good. The spine is designed to move in all directions, including bending forward, backward, to the right and left, and also rotating. And we do this movement far too little, right? When do we ever do that? We hardly ever do the bending to the side. We hardly ever do the twisting, bending forward while sitting. We do that, but we also never do stretching. So out of 6 basic degrees of freedom, that is to say, movement possibilities, we only use 1 and the other 5 only in exceptional cases when someone is involved in a sport where that happens by chance or has a profession where such a thing is required, yes, but otherwise never really. I think one also becomes lazy somehow. I mean, turning oneself so far is already kind of exhausting, and why should one do that in everyday life if one doesn't have to? Right? But the secret is a little bit. If you did this from a young age, from childhood, 2 or 3 times a week until the end range, you would never have to stretch in your life, not even at 99 years old, because then the body would not shorten, which is what requires stretching. It would simply always remain flexible. And then we slowly go out again here and have now played through all 6 basic directions of movement, which occur far too rarely in our everyday life. So, and now we're going to do a quick exercise out of that, because that took some time. How long do we have now? It will have been about 15 minutes net. Yes, please explain while doing it. The quarter of an hour is naturally totally great. How should I say? It's worth it. Super invested this time. But for in between, we are now doing exactly what I just said. If you would do this from childhood, then you wouldn't even need to stretch. And we combine that now simply. We do it together. Yes, you position yourself so that you look over there maybe for the audience, and I position myself so that I look over there. And that's very easy and very relaxed. Once stretch out nicely and come up again, and once bend forward and come up again, and once to the left side and come up again. And once to the right side and come up again and turn to the left once, turn correctly and turn to the right once, turn correctly and loosen up a bit. And that took now maybe just a minute or so. Yes, this minute, it is so valuable because if you don't feel it now, just as it is, not too positive now, just really how it feels.
So I feel really much looser, so somehow I can't put it into words how that feels. So it's somehow you feel so loose, somehow also strained, but loose and liberated.
And what would you say, how often should I do that if I have a normal 8-hour workday now? Every hour or? This short minute, yes, if you do it once in the morning, once during lunch break, once in the afternoon, 3 times a day, then small miracles happen, in quotation marks the miracles, not real ones. Yes, they feel like it, yes, And if you have a real problem and notice suggestion, why not do this? You have noticed during this routine where you struggle. You have noticed it and also at home, and what is difficult for you, no matter what it was, you should practice it individually until you feel that all 6 movements we do there are approximately equally strenuous. And in the moment when you have achieved that, then you can always practically do it at the same speed. At the same speed is a stupid word, so this little process, which we just mentioned, takes 1 minute. And depending on how quickly you want to make progress, if you just do this little routine for 1 minute, that's already better every day. I say that from experience because many patients report it. Yes, but you can of course accelerate. Even if you, no idea at the beginning, the other extreme now, 3 times a week do this 15-minute routine, then of course you make a jump and jump and jump every time, you progress much faster. But this way you can get out and balance your sitting wonderfully with not much effort. When you consider that lower back pain is the #1 common disease, yes, then it's actually worth a little enthusiasm if you know, man, if I do that, then I have a good chance that it won't happen to me. Yes. Still any question from you?
No, so I will definitely start doing it 3 times a day in the office, and then I'll see how my back pain goes.
Okay, yes. What would really interest me is, how do you find a format where it is explained? What would you like to see in this format? What pains, what conditions, what we do against it? Please comment on that, and then we will gladly try to set it up. And we have plenty of routines for all possible body areas. If you click down here, you will come to a playlist, choose what you enjoy, and otherwise we say thank you and goodbye. Goodbye. Thank you for participating.